Yo ho fellow pirates, how are you doing? Welcome to this guide video in Sea of Conquest. My name is Bob and I'm going to be talking about how I set up my ships and do my crew testing. Our server has just started season 2, so that's why there's a snowy theme on the ports and islands. I will have some extra buttons you might not have on your game, but unless I'm specifically mentioning season 2, the information I'm telling you here will be the same for everyone. Now let's hoist the Jolly Roger and get on our way. Crews are the most important thing to make your fleet strong, but a lot of players don't have all the heroes unlocked, or all the heroes at a rank that is useful for them. At the beginning of the game, a good ranked blue hero can be even better than a low ranked purple one, and the same can be said for the purple to legendary heroes. Today I can show you how I set up my ships, but that is with the heroes and rank that I've gotten from the game. So that's why I'm also explaining my thought process and how I do my testing. A very important thing to note as well is that when your flagship dies, you lose the battle. No matter the state of the rest of your ships, so you need to protect your flagship. You can do that in two ways. Put on a defensive loadout on your flagship to make it last as long as possible, or make another support ship and taunt the enemy in attacking that ship instead of aiming at your flagship. Now let's see how we can make our flagship as defensive as possible. Going to the setup of my ship, I don't have any heroes currently assigned. There are three positions: the position of the captain, the position of the first mate, and the position of the gunner if you have unlocked it after level 12 of your ship. Going to the captain slot, I can select several captains that have a plus mark behind them. That's because they have the trait of being a captain. What that does is it gives a 20% boost to all attributes. Attributes are the stats of the hero itself. Now there are only two heroes in the game currently that have the status defensive. That is Old Ahab as a legendary and Armstrong as a rare. These heroes have way higher constitution stats compared to their attack stats. These are the only two heroes that have that high percentage of constitution. Why is the constitution important? Well, that's because for every 1 point of constitution you get 0.2% boost to the sailor's health. That means that this base number of 280 is being multiplied by 10 times in case of the 5000 constitution that I have right now. Now back to the officers. Now let's select our Ahab and select our Armstrong. We still need a third one in our first mate slot. I can select the first mate here. These are all the first mates there are. In this case, there is a first mate, a support and recovery one called Madame Lulu. As you can see, this is only about 1.5 times as much as the strength compared to the other heroes we saw earlier. With her selected, we now have a full loadout. But that doesn't mean that we're done now, because we also have to look at the skills of each and every hero. Old Ahab has a skill to generate a shield, which is of course a defensive skill. Using that, it is a set percentage of the max HP of your ship. In this case, if we want to make this as useful as possible, we need as much HP on the ship as we can. Now, how do we do that? Several things can be done to achieve that. Let's go to our ship parts and select the ship parts we can do to increase our HP. The set Sovereign of the Sea has the added benefit, if you can get 4 pieces collected of this set, to gain a 12% bonus to HP. Now you can also see that there are stats in here. I have a one that's upgraded fully and that also has a 3% bonus in HP. Now you can go through all of these and try to upgrade them and see if they can get another bonus of HP, but in this case I'll just be selecting this one for now. So let's mount this cannon. Now we can also try to get a figurehead that has high HP. I don't have one, I just have one that's upgraded once, so I can mount that one. I have a helm that gives a 20% boost to HP and gives a further 6% boost to HP. So this is a very good one for the HP as well. Now going back to our ship, we can already see that with this setup I have 1.7 million HP. The shield Ahab generates will be 11% of that value. That is for the rank that I have him at the moment. Level 60 will give it 11% compared to 6 if you just unlock him at level 1. But that's not the only hero we want to look at the stats. Let's get to Madame Lulu. Madame Lulu has a stat that heals the ship under her command for 150% of the attack. So for her to be efficient, we need attack stats. But we cannot set up a full loadout of an attack and HP. It's mostly one or the other, or both might not work as good. The same can be said for Cordelia. Cordelia also heals the ship she's on, including 4 other ships. So the entire fleet of 5 ships can be healed. But this is also a percentage that is from the attack stat. So putting her on a defensive ship with high HP doesn't do much for us. What can we do in that third slot that might be beneficial? Let's get to the jack of all trades heroes that can be in every seat and still have the all attributes bonus. We have Cordelia, we have Henry Hell, but we also have Cursed Ed. In this case I have a rank 4 Cursed Ed, which means I can get the last couple of skills as well. What Cursed Ed does is he decreases the amount of damage done by the target fleet. So instead of raising my HP, it decreases the attack of the other one, which is also sort of a defensive stat. It also reduces the attack of the target by 7% in the following 5 seconds, and it reduces the rage of all heroes aboard the ship by 6%. The rage is what is needed to perform their active skill. All of the heroes have a certain amount of rage needed to perform their skill. And in this case, Ed decreases that. So let's select him. Now we're already at 1.8 million. What's the stat of Armstrong? Armstrong gains reinforcement and advancements, which taunts the enemy and decreases the damage received by 15%. As I said, a defensive skill. Then it increases the armor by 10%, and if the HP is below 60%, her armor will increase another 10%. And last but not least, the ship under Armstrong's command receives 15 less damage from basic attacks and increases the aggro by 20. The aggro is the amount of chance it has to attack this ship compared to all your other ships. So stacking up aggro in this case, which is not being shown in this list, but getting your aggro up will mean that it's more likely to get this ship attacked than the other ships in your fleet. Now that we have set up a defensive ship, let's see how we do on the offensive ships. Since the last recording, there has been an update to the game. In this update, you can now see the ship parts on the top of your screen here and see the trinkets that your heroes hold. These trinkets are Season 2 items And these are items that can increase stats, or the legendary ones have skills as well. So this is a Season 2 exclusive, but this is for everyone to see. Now, if you have a Crimson Sentinel set up, you can put either a Blazing or a Drowning set on that ship. Lester, Will and Ned are all Blazing heroes, but in this case Barnacle, Eileen and Mad Dog are the Drowning set. I now have a Blazing ship part set on there as well, but you can also change that out for Drowning. Since my Blazing heroes are better, I choose to do the Blazing. These are the Season 1 heroes. In Season 2 there is a Tanaka, and Tanaka will be in place of Will. And Adeline in place of Mad Dog for the Drowning set. For all of the other sets, I recommend to put as many of the officers with the same damage type together as you can. Put all of these officers in the slot they are meant to be in for the 20% bonus to attributes, and if you don't have a third one, try to put in one that also has that benefit, or in this case Cordelia, who is a trait, jack of all trade, and gives bonus for attributes on every seat she's in. Also, every other hero that is in this game, be it Ophelia, Sharky, Cordelia, Bones, Luna or even Madame Lulu, all of their skills are based on the attack stat of the ship they are on. Try to maximize the attack stat of their ship in every way you can. For choosing ship parts, it is better to choose a base number than it is to choose a percentage number. These base numbers increase your power with more than an equally upgraded percentage number would. If you have both, like this part has, it's always better. If you have to choose between one or the other, choose the one with the most upgrades or the one with the highest base number. If you want to stack up impact, it's better to choose the percentage number over the base number, because the base number is half of the attack, but the percentage numbers are the same. If you get 3 heroes of the same damage type on your ship, try to put the corresponding ship part in there. If you want to know what ship part goes with what damage type, there is a damage type video on the channel already, go watch that. If you have to mix and match or put a healer in there, always try to go for the Blade of Freedom set, since that boosts everyone on the ship. Now, if you have enjoyed this video and have learned something, please leave a like to increase my reputation with the algorithm and get them to worship me as well. Subscribe to not miss out on future videos, and leave a comment if you have any ideas on topics you want me to explain in a future one. Now I all wish you happy sailing!